You are listening to the Motherhood Unstressed podcast, and I'm your host, Liz Carlisle. Welcome to a new week 2 for most of us having our children at home and living this new normal. I hope you are doing well. I hope you are exercising every day, meditating, doing whatever you need to do, really, to stay grounded and calm and centered. And this week, I am speaking with the amazing Leah Goldglanz. She is the founder of the incredibly popular food blog, Leah's Plate. And I was actually supposed to interview her at Expo West, but of course that was canceled due to the coronavirus. But she was down for doing a virtual interview, which I'm so glad. And, originally when I had scheduled the interview, I wanted to talk to her about, how she plans out her food blogs, where she gets her inspiration for these recipes. But really it turned into, okay, you know a lot about food prep and how to cook healthy for your kids and how to work with things that are maybe in short supply. This is perfect for what we're currently facing right now in our country and all over the world, really. So this episode is going to help you be motivated to create really healthy dishes. We're all cooking from home now, if you're not doing takeout from restaurants. So what can you do? What are some go-tos? And Leah is just a wealth of knowledge. And if you haven't already, go check her out on Instagram at Leah's Plate. And just get inspired. And I love how real and honest she is in this interview. This is all new territory for all of us. So that includes world famous bloggers as well. So I think you're going to love this episode. I think you're going to love her raw authenticity and really just the gems that she leaves on how to stay sane and how to keep your family healthy and happy through food. Enjoy. This episode is sponsored by Motherhood Unstressed CBD. This is my line of organic, natural, USA-grown hemp that was specifically designed to help you, the mother, battle stress and anxiety naturally. So head over to motherhoodunstressed.com and get yours today. Guys, I have to talk to you about Beekeepers Naturals Propolis Spray. A few months ago, I had the founder of Beekeepers Naturals on the show. Her name is Carly Stein, and the company that she has built is just incredible. And her products are amazing. They taste great, but they also use the power of bees to help your body and your immune system stay at its strongest and its best. And we all know that is crucial right now. So I love the Propolis spray as a daily. I spray it in my throat and my children's as well, just as a preventative measure for keeping viruses and bacteria cleared away from our system. So definitely go check them out and use the code UNSTRESSED to save at beekeepersnaturals.com. Well, hello, Leah. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad we could reschedule this. We were supposed to meet at Expo West this year, but obviously that was canceled due to the coronavirus. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm glad we're at least able to do this now, even though we couldn't do it at Expo West.
Yeah. So, I have to ask the question, how have you been coping with the massive amounts of changes that, we're all going through? We were just talking before, your kids are home from school. How are you managing it all?
I think this week for me and probably for everybody else is just kind of finding our bearings and finding our new normal. And I think this week has been a big adjustment because my kids were my daughter, my older one, was in school last week till Friday. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of a normal week, even though this was, starting to materialize. And then I feel like overnight everything changed and schools were closed. And this week was really, the first week of this all with the kids home and not going out in public. So I think each day I'm figuring out what's going to work, what's not. And I don't want to have a strict schedule or routine for myself or my family, but I do need some structure. Personally, I find I thrive off of that, and my kids do too. So kind of having more of a loose structure and schedule and not beating myself up over it if we don't follow it one day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that that's critical for every mom and dad out there, especially, you have a huge following, you have a major business on your own, and then to add in, homeschooling on top of that. So to kind of take our listeners who don't already know about you, how did your blog, your Instagram page start? What was the birth of Leah's Plate?
I had been really interested in cooking healthy recipes and kind of trying to turn recipes with not so great ingredients into healthier recipes. So never feeling like you had to deprive yourself of something you wanted. So even with baking, just like using cleaner ingredients, even like I eat pizza, I just make it with more clean, wholesome ingredients. And I also don't love spending hours cooking something, and I don't love recipes with really long ingredient lists. That kind of like turns me off and scares me away. So my biggest thing was like keeping the ingredients minimal, clean, simple, and recipes that, take under a half hour from start to finish.
Yeah. I mean, it's just amazing to see, what you have out there. Everything is so beautiful. What do you think resonates with the people who follow your blog? What do you think? I mean, is it the short ingredient list? Is it the health factor? What do you think really hits home with so many people?
I think a lot of my recipes are kid friendly, even things like my smoothies that I make in the morning. My kids always are like grabbing a straw and putting it in my cup and sharing my smoothies with me. I'd say like 90% of the stuff I make is pretty kid friendly. It's not kid food per se, but
I think that's good.
Yeah. And I want them to, eat other things besides just pizza and chicken nuggets. Not that I don't give that to them, but, I want them to eat other things as well. So I think I have a lot of moms that follow me, and they like that I, share kid-friendly recipes and also give a lot of ideas for the kids. And I often share on my Instagram stories what my kids are eating for dinner, what I'm packing them for their school lunch, and things like that.
Yeah, super helpful, because I think too, we can get in this rut where we don't want to cook the same thing again, or in the situation that we're in now, what is available at the stores is somewhat limited. So I think, are you going to be doing kind of a new world take on how to cook healthy for your kids, what we can do with, the limited supplies or uncertain supplies at the store?
Yeah, right now I'm working on a blog post actually with like good pantry meals that you can make from like things in your pantry, or I'm going to be showing people a lot of things that you could buy to keep in your freezer so that you can use it to make healthy meals even a month later. Everyone has this fear that we're going to have like this shortage. So for example, like I bought like, organic chicken and some organic ground turkey and fish, and I froze it all. And that's easy to just like, the morning, take it out, defrost it, and have it available to cook for dinner. So, and frozen vegetables too. You can saute them in a frying pan for dinner. You can throw frozen spinach in your smoothie. So I'm sharing a lot of those ideas too, of like freezer friendly meals.
I think that's so brilliant, and I think too, as moms, as women, when we kind of prepare for this in a weird way, like when we get pregnant, we don't want to be going out with the baby. So we prepare meals, we freeze meals in kind of a strange way. We're all kind of hardwired for this kind of scenario. But moving forward, what do you think, what are some of your go-to recipes that you can just offhand think of right now for the mom listening? She's like, okay, I'm cooking every day this week, every meal. What do I do? What do I go for?
My favorite easy recipes that my kids like, I love it, my husband, and you can make a big batch of it so you could have it for lunch the next day or dinner the next night. I buy some organic ground turkey or ground chicken. I add that to a frying pan with some onion and garlic. But again, like if you don't have garlic or onion, it's fine. And I use some spices, but nothing spicy since the kids are eating it, like nothing with like cayenne or anything in it, just to give it some flavor. And I serve that with like roasted sweet potato diced up and avocado and maybe some mixed greens. Maybe I don't give my kids the mixed greens if they don't want it, but I like to eat greens. Mm-hmm. And then that's just like an easy meal for the family. And I feel like sweet potato and avocado are very kid friendly. So is ground meat. So it just works for everybody.
Yeah. Have you found that your kids are pretty nonchalant about everything that's going on? Are they happy to be home from school?
Well, my younger one she'll be 2 in May. So right now it's March as we're recording this. So she's a little like clueless, obviously, as to what's going on. And she wasn't in school yet, but I had her in classes every morning, like a mommy and me class, a music class. And obviously we're not going to those. And so I feel like bad for her in that way, that we were just getting into such a good groove with doing that. And I think she knows, because the other day she said music and I said no music class. But I'm trying to like do it at home. Like I found some of the songs that they sing in her music class, and then we played them and had a little dance party, and doing some like online YouTube stuff like that is helpful. And then my other daughter's 4, and she's asking me about school, and I haven't told her that she's not going back probably this year, but I said, she knows about the virus. I don't scare her, but like she's aware that there's germs and we don't want to go to school because we can't catch the germs right now, and nobody else is in school. So she knows it's not just her. Mm-hmm. And we're just finding activities to do at home. But, honestly, it's hard because I work. And now, in addition to working and being a mom and prepping all the meals, I'm like, oh, now I'm like homeschooling her essentially.
Right. And now a quick break with a word from our sponsor. This episode is sponsored by Best Fiends. Best Fiends is a puzzle game that you can play right on your phone, and it's really cool because you go through all these levels solving challenging puzzles that actually engage your brain, but it's a casual game that anyone can play, and it's really, really fun. Moms, for most of us, all of our kids have been home this week from school. In order to break up the monotony of the schoolwork, to get my kids excited about something and still challenge their brains, I've been giving them Best Fiends. And my 5-year-old broke through this special level this past week, totally impressing his older brother, and them both having so much fun with it. It's just, it's kind of cool. It's makes you feel good that you're not just giving them the iPad so that you can get some work done or get some cleaning done. Like they're actually doing something that engages their brain. So I do feel good about that. And I like to sneak in a couple games too. So engage your brain with fun puzzles and collect tons of cute characters. Trust me, with over 100 million downloads, this 5-star rated mobile puzzle game is a must play. Download Best Fiends free on the Apple App Store or Google Play. And remember, that's friends without the R. Best Fiends.
But I think too, like coming from someone like you who seems to have it all together, she's feeding her kids rock star meals and looking good doing it. It's kind of reassuring to hear that coming from you. You're saying I'm trying to figure this out as well.
Yeah, I don't think anyone will have like a super easy time with this. And I think everyone just has to find their own way, and what's right for one mom and one family and one child is not going to be right for another. Mm-hmm. Like I said, with like structure and schedule, some families just aren't structured and scheduled, and that works for them, and that's great. And others need that. And as long as all moms are supportive of one another and no one should bash each other for doing it different ways, I think there's no wrong way.
Right. We really are all in this together.
Yeah. And I think not being guilty either. Like if your kid watches too much TV one day because you're having a hard day or you just need to get this work done, like not to beat yourself up over it. It just is what it is right now.
Absolutely. Now you're in Florida, correct?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on how Florida's response to the virus? Do you feel like, because I know everyone was posting these spring break pictures from the last week.
Oh, I'm so disappointed. It's like, I just wish everything, like California last night, they announced that, the stay at home, I forget what they called it, but basically everybody is advised to now stay at home, and all non-essential, like, businesses for living basically have been shut down. And I think that's what needs to happen to stop the spread of this. And I'm just so disappointed in like seeing all the spring breakers out partying and not really caring about this. And I think they think they're like invincible. And it's like, they're saying that it's affecting people in their 20s and they could end up hospitalized, but more so, I mean, for me personally, I'm less worried about myself and more like I could never live with myself if I was out and then got it and gave it to one of my parents and something happened to them. So right. For my parents, for the elderly, for everyone, I think we all just need to do our part and be responsible. And my state, I've just been super disappointed.
Yeah. I think, hopefully that's changing, as more serious lockdowns are happening and, more cases that come up, I think people will wake up, hopefully. But it's this strange dichotomy of the very young who don't seem to care and then the very old who don't seem to care. I've heard so many people fighting with their parents, trying to keep them home and doing the shopping for them. What are your thoughts? How are your parents? Are they pretty on board with,
Yeah, I think at first they weren't taking it as seriously. like they were going out to the grocery store and doing this and that. And I know you need to do that. But they were like eating outside at a restaurant while it was still open. Luckily, like they're all closed now, which I hate to say luckily. I feel horrible for all the restaurant owners and business owners. It's like, I obviously feel for them, but I just think that crowding a bunch of people into a bar or restaurant is not smart right now. Right. But yeah, they were like sitting outside a restaurant. Mom, you can't do that right now, and now she's not. And neither is my dad. But yeah, I had to kind of tell them like, it's not worth essentially risking your life to like go out.
Yeah, I think a lot of mothers and dads who listen to the show are in that position. We're parenting our little ones. We're also parenting, our parents and our grandparents. And that's a unique position to be in, in your 30s.
Yeah. So, I mean, and obviously I'd be lying if I didn't say that it like keeps me up at night right now. I'm not like sleep. This past week, I definitely haven't slept as well. I'm worried about my parents and even myself and my husband and my friends. Like I'm reading a lot lately about it affecting people between, the ages of 25 to 50 as well. And a lot of these people are hospitalized that were perfectly healthy. So
yeah,
I can't say I'm not fearful.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because like when I scheduled this interview, I thought it was just going to be about food and what you do in your blog, which it is, but it's also, I think, a greater take on the reality of our new world and what and your expertise is actually a huge gift. And you're sharing that with everyone listening, everyone who follows you. Health and immunity and nutrition is so important right now. And to do these amazing recipes with what you have in the fridge, I think is really incredible. So I'm just really grateful that you're doing the work that you're doing because I follow and, it's going to be helping me stay sane and inspired through all of this, even your old stuff.
Yeah, well, look out. I'll be posting some like immunity boosting meals as well and stuff like a smoothie and, just things with all the immunity boosting foods and sharing the vitamins and supplements I'm taking right now. And
yeah, that would be great.
In the works that would be out right now if I didn't have my kids home from school.
And doing interviews and everything else.
Yeah. So, but my husband, he's working a lot Monday through Friday. And then the deal is kind of that he'll take over with the kids a bit on the weekend so I could get my stuff done. So
yeah, the golden hour for me is from like 5 to 6 in the morning where I can get up, record, edit, do all of that when it's quiet. Yeah. Otherwise, it's hard,
I wake up at 5 a.m. every day to have my kids don't wake up till like 7:30 to have like those 2.5 hours. I get a workout in. Now it's from home, obviously online, and then I get a good hour of work done. And it's just like I need that time to myself to, get going for the day before I jump into my mom role.
Oh, absolutely. And that's crucial for every single parent out there. If you're not doing that, listener, absolutely give yourself at least 20 minutes to get up, have a cup of coffee, journal, meditate, do whatever you need to do. Because Leah, you're right. You have to do that in order to be fully there and to be able to function.
Yeah, 100%. That's like such a game changer. If I ever sleep until my kids do, my whole day is thrown off if I don't have that time to myself in the morning.
And I just feel guilty. Like I feel guilty, that I did that, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But if you had one major takeaway for the listener, what we've talked about or just about nutrition and recipes or anything you really care about, what do you want them to walk away with from this talk?
I guess since coronavirus is so relevant right now when we were talking about that, I guess it's just something that like I've noticed personally is, and I find it so ironic when you go to the supermarket, I'm finding that there's like all the fresh produce and fruits and veggies and everything is still available. And that's not what's being swept up, but those foods are what's going to keep you healthy is the fruits and vegetables. They have all the vitamins and nutrients and everything. And then like all the garbage food, like the cookies and chips and the crackers and this and that, or everything that's not left on the shelves. And listen, I agree, you have to put stuff in your pantry because you don't know what's going to happen. But I just found it kind of ironic that people, it's like you really need to take care of yourself now more than ever and be as healthy as you can and be eating like good quality food right now. And I'm also really trying to limit like sugar and alcohol because that's really not good for your immune system.
Yes, that sugar, I can limit alcohol, no problem. I have CBD, but the sugar is what really gets me. So.
I know. And for me, it's just not really having it in the house. I have my dark chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, maybe like one thing that I bake for the week that is, freshly made and good with good clean ingredients, but it's still sweet. And I just try not to buy that other food and have it in the house. Because if I don't eat it, my kids are eating it. And
oh, yeah. Yeah. It's more so for them, like not to be constantly putting it in the house. Yeah. I'm right there with you. So I do have some rapid fire questions for you if you're ready.
Sure.
Okay. What's one great book that you're reading right now?
I'm reading Body Love Every Day by Kelly LeVeque, and it's just really informative about the foods that we should be putting on our plate. And it's not a diet book. I'm really not into diets or feeling like I can't eat anything or that there's a do not eat list. Because if it's Saturday night, I want to be able to enjoy a slice of pizza with friends. It's not something I do every day, but I don't want everything to be anything to be off limits. And this book, it's just really telling you like what you should look to put on your plate. And there's also like lots of great meal ideas in there and recipes. And it's also just super informative. It goes into some of the science, but she explains it really well. So if you don't have like a science background, you still totally can understand. I just found it to be such an informative book.
Love it. And that'll be in the show notes for anyone listening. Second question, I'm grateful for.
Right now, and again, this is so relevant to the time, I am so grateful for my health and my family's health. And every morning that I wake up, I just say I say it to myself that I'm just so grateful that we're all healthy, because these days it's really an unknown, and any morning you could wake up and start having symptoms of the coronavirus. And so for each day that we don't get it and we're quarantined right now, I feel hopeful that we won't. I just am so grateful for our health right now.
Love it. And last one, what's something that you've learned in life that you wish someone would have told you earlier on?
To not beat myself up over something that I can't go back and change. So if it already happened and I can't go back and change it, to try to just move on and stop thinking about it and being mad or upset about it, and just move on with life and do better the next time. I spent a lot of years reflecting negatively on things in the past, and I couldn't change them, and that was a waste of time, and I wish I was putting my thoughts elsewhere, somewhere more positive.
I love it. Great lesson for all of us. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Leah. This was such a treat. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and your tips, and we will all definitely be following you. Where can our listeners find you online?
I'm leahsplate.com, and that's LEAHSPLATE.com, and all of my social media is at Leah's Plate.
Love it. All right. Thank you so much. This is fabulous. I hope you have a great day. Stay strong and stay healthy.
You too. So nice meeting you.
You have been listening to the Motherhood Unstressed podcast, and I'm your host, Liz Carlisle. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you love this episode, please share it with at least one friend. Tag us on your Instagram stories. That's a great way to support the show. Make sure that you're subscribed so that you never miss out on a morning meditation or on an interview with an incredible person doing incredible work in the world. And if you haven't already, please hit those 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, because it really does boost the show's rating and it gets the message out to more and more listeners. So thank you.